Hi, this is Christopher O'Reilly, host of From the Top. Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast. While this podcast is free for all of you, it actually costs our little nonprofit some significant resources to purchase rights for all this fabulous music. Please consider making a small gift to From the Top and keep us broadcasting loud and clear. Go to fromthetop.org and click on Support.
Going to prom can be challenging for a young musician. It's May, and all month long you've got end-of-the-year concerts and out-of-town competitions. Today we'll hear how two teenage classical musicians with an impossible schedule conflict still manage to have the best prom ever. From NPR, it's From the Top, celebrating the energy of America's kids and the power of classical music. We're at the Arie Crown Theater in Chicago, Illinois, where we'll also hear a young baritone sing the music of Vaughan Williams, and a teenage septet from here in Chicago perform scenes from Stravinsky's The Soldier's Tale. From the Top's home is New England Conservatory's Jordan Hall in Boston. Here's our host, one of America's great concert pianists, Christopher O'Reilly.
Thank you. Thank you and welcome. Today I stand before a gazillion energized educators for a show that celebrates the power of music education every week. How cool is that? We're guests of the National Education Association performing here in Chicago at their annual convention. What is the NEA? It's public school teachers, administrators, and the people behind the scenes, like bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and secretaries. It's retired teachers and students studying to be teachers. It's people passionately dedicated to improving the lives of our children. We are honored to be among you, and we salute you. Appropriately, all of the kids on today's show are public school kids, like this amazing 17-year-old violist who attends Barrington High School just outside of Chicago. Please welcome Stephanie Block. Stephanie, what's it like to be performing in front of every teacher you've ever known?
It's a bit intimidating, really intimidating, but I'm very excited. It's better than having a small audience.
That's right.
It gets you pumped up.
And you've got a very intimidating and wonderful red dress, so you're intimidating them right back. Stephanie,
Awesome.
as you know, in honor of the occasion, we've asked each of our young performers to give a shout-out to a teacher who's made a real difference in their life. Not necessarily a music teacher. It could be a science teacher, fourth grade teacher, whatever. Who do you want to thank?
I've had many supportive music teachers over the years, and that means a lot. But since I do attend public school, I was always looking for teachers to look at more than just my musical ability. I had one teacher in 6th grade, my English teacher, Mr. Kramer, who recognized me as a leader, not just in an orchestra, but also in the classroom and just as a person. And that really means a lot to me and inspires me because it shows that someone looks past one thing I do and can appreciate me for more than one thing.
And in Mr. Kramer's honor, your English teacher, what English piece are you and I going to play?
We're going to play the first movement of William Walton's Viola Concerto.
All right, we'll take it from the top. Stephanie Block, 17 years old, from Barrington, Illinois, playing the Walton Viola Concerto. Gosh, Stephanie, you have such a wonderful, warm, and deep sound there, and you really draw us all in. And there's a great sense of dignity and elegance and eloquence about your playing, but I understand your sense of drama is very important to you, and it comes across not only in your performing, but in your training, in your lessons even. Is it something you think about consciously, or is it just something that comes out?
Drama is something that comes very easily to me. It also follows me. Drama in my playing has never really been an issue because of that. I don't find it very difficult to channel all those feelings into my playing, which is what makes me love it so much. And as far as my lessons, I probably cry every third or fourth lesson. It's pretty much a constant, trend.
But this is all you. This is not your tough teacher or anything like that?
No.
Sending you sobbing into the hallway or anything,
No, it's just me.
Just
and
the
my
emotion and the music.
Paranoia, yes.
I'm surprised you allow me to play behind you. They're out to get me. You couldn't call your practice habits intense and emotional. You have to call them quirky, at least regarding where I know you like to practice. Tell everybody.
Sometimes I like to practice in the bathroom because that gives me a really nice sound, and some people say it's cheating, but sometimes you have to boost your ego by playing in a nice echoey room.
Well, it's nice to be inspired by that porcelain, pristine elegance. But I would imagine you want to get your practicing done first thing in the morning before anybody else gets in there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're not alone in your love of practicing in the bathroom. Everyone loves to sing in the shower, of course, but actually many really famous musicians have practiced in the bathroom to hear that nice resonance while they play. As a matter of fact, there's a really rare recording of Jascha Heifetz practicing in the bathroom. Have you heard this?
No.
What do you think, Stephanie? Is that a legit recording there?
I thought it was real.
Absolutely. Totally real. I love the phrasing towards the end there, the punctuation. Here's another way you're intense. You do triathlons. How did you get into that?
My dad is a pretty intense triathlete. He's competed in 5 Ironman races. And when I was 9, this is what I remember, he just kind of signed me up for a triathlon. So, and I liked it. So, I just did them. And then I finally actually started training for them when I was 14, because it's actually less painful if you train.
Yes, I would imagine. And I know you're really good, especially in running, and now you're raising money by running. Please tell everybody about that.
Yes, I want to raise money for the Histiocytosis Association of America. When I was an infant, I was diagnosed with this rare blood disease. It's not genetic, it's just very rare, called histiocytosis. It took huge toll on my parents. There were several times where they didn't think I would survive, and I'm really thankful for that. So now I would like to raise money, and I like to run in this one race that they have every year and let my friends know about it, and hopefully that can be a continuous thing.
Well, we're very thankful that you're with us. And best of luck with the Histiocytosis Foundation and your playing, which is already gorgeous, and we'll look forward to hearing and seeing more of you in the future. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Stephanie Block, 17 years old, from Barrington, Illinois.
Podcasts of From the Top are available every week at fromthetop.org. From the Top is made possible in part by the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation, advancing the education of students of exceptional promise who have financial need. On the web at jkcf.org. Chris.
Thanks, Joanne. On stage with me now is Jeffrey Hahn, a fine 18-year-old baritone who's joined us to sing one of Ralph Vaughan Williams' great songs. Jeffrey, you're from Carpinteria, California. Do you have a fantastic California teacher you want to thank today?
Yes, I do. This song goes out to Mr. McClendon, who for 5 years has been not only my high school choir director, but my role model and life coach. And he's really the one who made singing fun for me, is the reason I'm still singing today. And he's got a lot of heart, so I take after that, or try to.
Very good. Hey, Jeffrey, while I head back to the piano, please tell everybody about this Vaughan Williams song.
Well, this is from Vaughan Williams' Songs of Travel, and it's a 9-song cycle, and this is the 7th song. It's called Whither Must I Wander? And this song cycle is about this vagabond who decides to leave the life that he's known and travel through the English countryside and just let the winds take him wherever he would go. And this song, he's very nostalgic, and he reminisces about his past, and it brings forth a lot of beautiful pictures of nature.
I wander, hunger my driver, I go where I must. Cold blows the winter wind over hill and heather. Thick drives the rain, and my roof is in the dust. Loved of wise men was the shade of my roof tree. The true word of welcome was spoken in the door. Dear days of old, with the faces in the firelight, kind folks of old, you come again no more. Home was home then, my dear, full of kindly faces. Home was home then, my dear, happy for the child. Fire and the windows bright glittered on the moorland. Song, tuneful song, built a palace in the wild. Now when day dawns on the brow of the moorland, lone stands the house, and the chimney stone is cold. Lone let it stand, now the friends are all departed. The kind hearts, the true hearts, that loved the place of old. Spring shall come again, calling up the moorfowl. Spring shall bring the sun and rain, bring the bees and flowers. Red shall the heather bloom over hill and valley. Soft flow the stream through the even flowing hours. Fair the day shine as it shone on my childhood. Fair shine the day on the house with open door. Birds come and cry there, and twitter in the chimney. But I go forever and come again no more.
Jeffrey Hahn, 18 years old, our baritone from Carpinteria, California, singing from Wolf Von Williams' Songs of Travel. Just such an amazing set of pieces, but gosh, you really just bring them to life and you really draw us in.
Thank you.
Jeffrey, you know, the song cycle that piece is from, Songs of Travel, poems by Robert Louis Stevenson, extols the beauty of nature. But you might have gotten some inspiration for this music just by looking out your bedroom window.
Yes, well, I grew up on a farm in Southern California, actually a rose farm. So yes, I look out the window and every morning, smell the beautiful roses, and I am inspired. I love it.
So how did the farm boy end up singing classical music? What took you to it?
Well, my mom always said that I was humming as soon as I could make noise, even in the crib. So she decided to put my brother and me into singing lessons when I was about 4 years old, and he was 7. So we started out really young, and it's kind of remarkable just because nobody in my family has really any musical background whatsoever. I don't know. It was a hard road. It was hard growing up as a kid, as a boy specifically, being a singer, just having to deal with all the kids teasing us and the 40 gossipy girls who were in our studio making fun of us every single day. I got through it somehow, maybe from my mom forcing me to go to my lessons every week.
Yes.
Or for the sheer joy of singing.
And lots of inspiring teaching along the way, I know that.
Definitely.
You've survived those early years, and now you're a triple threat. You sing opera, musical theater, and excelling at academics. Talk about your plans. Tell everybody where you're going in the fall. Well,
in the fall, I will be attending the Columbia Juilliard Exchange Program. Thank you. Which is an honor. I get the best of both worlds. I'm really looking forward to pursue my BA in the sciences, hopefully life sciences.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of grew up on a farm. I've always been interested in nature. Brings me back to this piece of music. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, I love nature and sciences.
It just sounds like a great plan. Botany and Broadway. No, you think?
Yes.
Well, we look forward to hearing more from you from all of those aspects of your career. And Jeffrey, it was such a gorgeous thing to hear you sing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Jeffrey Hahn, 18 years old, from Carpinteria, California. We're going now from the baritone voice to the baritone of string instruments, the cello. And to play it for us, please welcome from Columbus, Ohio, 19-year-old Nikita Annenkov. Nikita, welcome. I know you're 19 years old and you're just graduating high school, but you weren't held back because of bad penmanship.
No, well, I'm originally from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and in Uzbekistan, kids start school a year later.
So we're asking all our young performers today to give a shout-out to a favorite teacher today. So do you want to thank a teacher in Columbus, Ohio, or one in Uzbekistan?
Yeah, I want to thank my high school English teacher in Columbus, Ohio. Her name is Joanne Christ, and she was a lot of help during my first years here in America. And when I came, I thought all I had to do was just practice hard and everything will be okay. But what she told me was, no matter how good you are, you won't get far without good grades. And that kept me going through the longest 4 years of my life.
Tell everybody what you and I are going to play. I know the composer comes from your former region of the world.
We're going to play a piece by an Armenian composer, Alexander Arutyunyan, and the piece is called Impromptu.
Nikita Anenkoff, 19 years old, from Columbus, Ohio. Nikita is one of our Jack Kent Cooke young artists. I don't know Arutunian's music from before this introduction, and thank you so much for bringing it. It's such a sprightly piece, and my gosh, authoritatively and playfully played.
Thank you.
Just wonderful, Nikita. So tell us a little bit about why you and your mom moved to America from Uzbekistan.
Well, my grandma and her sister lived here since 2001 or 2. And after they live for a while in the United States, they have a privilege to invite their children and grandchildren to live with them. And so we came to reunite with our family, pretty much. But also, well, there were some hardships in with our religion, Christianity, and Uzbekistan is a Muslim country, and there were some clashes in that category.
I know you left a wonderful music school back in Tashkent. What happened for you musically when you got to Columbus?
Well, when we were moving to Ohio, my mom's main concern was if I would be able to continue my music education and learning cello here, because we didn't know much about the music world here. But and we also heard that the lessons were expensive and it was hard to find a teacher. But when we actually got here, we found ourselves amongst the most amazing people who were willing to support us. And one of the biggest supports that we got was this church, the local church in our community, and they agreed to provide funds for my lessons. Wow. And has been providing me with support.
Yeah.
Since.
You've got a very positive attitude and totally disarming personality, I might add. It's no wonder that you're not only flourishing as a young American musician, you're flourishing as a young American teenager. And you've got the best senior prom story ever to prove it. We asked you to retell it with the help of your date.
I'm dating this great girl, a violinist, Hyun Chung.
Nikita is romantic.
One of many things that I like about her is her maturity.
I'm in the quartet and Nikita's in a trio. Our quartet was on From the Top a couple of shows back, and we both found ourselves in May in South Bend, Indiana for Fischoff Chamber Music Competition. We were missing our senior proms, and it would have been a first prom for both of us. I wasn't upset, but I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get to go to my senior prom. I tried not to show it. A couple days before the competition, I was in Ruthie's car, who's the cellist of our quartet, and I found streamers and these decorating materials. And I was like, Ruthie, what's this about? And she told me, oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing, no big deal. Just keep packing. The girls of Hyun's quartet were aware that she was missing her prom, and they had this idea of decorating my hotel room on Friday during Fish-Off. It was the night after the semifinals, and I was exhausted, and all I wanted to do was take a shower and go to bed. But Ruthie and Eva came and blindfolded me and dragged me to Nikita's room. They opened the doors, and then what I saw was candles, balloons, and streamers, and they told me to get a corsage for her. Jazz music that Ruthie picked out. And Nikita was in a tux with my favorite tie on, and he had this beautiful corsage. And everything was really romantic. We started dancing, and I noticed with the corner of my eye that one of the pillows on the bed caught on fire. Because of the candles that were everywhere in the room. Nikita went over and grabbed the fire instead of the pillow. I don't know why. I still have those burns on my hands. It's definitely a night I will never forget. I will never forget the moment I walked in and took off my blindfold, and Nikita has this funny smile that he does only when I'm around, and he gave me that smile, and I was like, "Aw."
I will always remember that night because it was very spontaneous, but it turned out to be the most perfect prom that I could ever have.
My gosh, Nikita, not only romantic, but heroic. I mean, throwing your hands into the fire, although I'm sure it had some ameliorative effect on the calluses of your cello-playing hand, I would imagine.
It did.
So all in the good service of music. And congratulations, Nikita, and
Thank you.
all the best to you. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Nikita Anentoff, 19 years old, from Columbus, Ohio.
Our online store is the perfect one-stop shop for any music lover or From the Top fan. From a wide variety of CDs and books to an assortment of accessories and apparel, we even offer a From the Top onesie for that budding future musician. Go to the online store at fromthetop.org.
Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and from U.S. Trust, believing that the arts have a worth all their own in stimulating the hearts and imaginations of our country's best young musicians. From the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, committed to helping Americans lead healthier lives and get the care they need, on the web at rwjf.org. And from the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, helping NPR advance journalistic excellence in the digital age. This is NPR.
From NPR, it's From the Top, celebrating the energy of America's kids and the power of classical music. This week, we're coming to you from the Arie Crown Theater in Chicago, Illinois. Up next, Scenes from a Soldier's Tale by Igor Stravinsky, performed by teenagers from here in Chicago, and one very cool teacher. From the Top's home is New England Conservatory's Jordan Hall in Boston, where talented young musicians are creating a new century of musical excellence. Today's show at the National Education Association Convention is made possible by Security Benefit, helping educators retire and encouraging you to thank a teacher today. Additional support is provided by Bank of America and the NEA Member Benefits Corporation. Here again is Christopher O'Reilly.
Thanks, Joanne. And now a very special treat. As Joanne mentioned, we're about to hear portions of L'Histoire de Soldat, The Soldier's Tale by Igor Stravinsky, performed by an ensemble from the Merit School of Music here in Chicago. We have our ensemble, violinist, 17-year-old Julia Gika. Our double bassist is 18-year-old Daniela Gazibara. Our 17-year-old clarinetist is Camila Hines Muhammad. Our bassoonist is 17-year-old Abigail Arnold. Joel Conturan is our cornetist. He's also 17 years old. Jacob Mazera is our 16-year-old trombonist. And Yael Litwin is our percussionist. She's 18 years old. These guys call themselves Septacular. That's kind of a typo, but really quite an apt description of this spectacular septet. They're coached by Brian Polacek, and we also want to thank Tim Reardon, a longtime friend of this program at the Merit School, who helped make this happen. These kids are from Merit's tuition-free conservatory, an amazing program that attracts kids from all over Chicago. The place just buzzes with chamber music, large ensembles, music classes, lessons, you name it. But The Soldier's Tale is a story told in music and words, so we really should have a narrator. And who better to play that role at the convention of the National Education Association than a really outstanding educator? And what a great opportunity for these merit kids to collaborate with another great teacher. Please welcome one of your own, head of the Fine Arts Department at Downers Grove North High School, Brayer Teague. Brayer, as you know, we've been doing shout-outs to inspiring teachers throughout this show, but it's great to have one on stage in person. Brayer, are you ready to tell the soldier's tale?
You know, I'm so excited to do this. I pulled out of my desk of scores, my drawer of scores back at school, this copy of the Stravinsky, which I purchased 22 years ago for my advanced conducting class at Northwestern. I remember the musicians who came into play for that. That was a real badge of honor because this piece is so difficult. And so when I was invited to be a part of this, I was thankful to be asked to be the narrator and not the conductor because this is so hard. And then I came to the rehearsal this week and learned that this incredible group from the Merit School is doing this without a conductor. They're doing it as chamber music. I shouldn't be surprised. I've taught in the Chicago area for over 20 years, and some of the finest musicians come from the Merit School. But this has been a real treat to collaborate with them.
Yeah. All right, now, of course, we've condensed this story of the soldier, Joseph, who makes a deal with the devil, and have come up with much of our own narration to fill in the blanks, but we'll try to remain true to the spirit of this marvelous theater piece. From The Soldier's Tale, this is The Soldier's March, The Royal March, and The Devil's Dance.
Down a hot and dusty road tramps a soldier with his load. "10 days leave he has to spend. Will his journey never end?" Marching home, marching on his way. Marching, marching all the day, soon he will be home to stay. Joseph rests by a stream and rummages through his pack. He finds his fiddle and begins to play. The devil appears and offers to trade Joseph's fiddle for a book that can magically predict the future of the markets. The devil says, "With this book you don't have to read. It's more than a book. It's worth untold. You've only to open it, lo and behold, banknotes, bearer bonds, and gold." The devil offers to take Joseph home for 3 days to teach him about the book, if Joseph will teach him the fiddle. Joseph accepts the devil's offer, but returning home afterward, he finds that no one knows him. 3 days were really 3 years, and his friends, his mother, and his fiancée think they see a ghost. In despair, Joseph runs away to another land and learns that the princess of the realm, the only daughter of the king, lies ill. The king proclaims, "Whatsoever man shall come and raise my daughter from the bed, that man the fair princess shall wed." Why not? Joseph thinks. He's up, he's off, and makes his way to the palace gates. He gives a ring. "Where are you going?" the sentries say. "Where am I going?" replies Joseph. "To see the king." At the palace, Joseph finds the devil already there, disguised as a virtuoso violinist. After tricking the devil in a card game, Joseph is able to take the violin and play for the princess, who is miraculously resurrected by the music. They embrace. But Joseph must not leave the kingdom, or he'll be back in the devil's power. No one can have it all. That is forbidden. You must learn to choose between. One happy thing is every happy thing. Two is as if they had never been. The princess, curious about Joseph's past, convinces him that they should sneak out of the palace together and visit his mother back in his old village. And so he thinks, if we did go, perhaps this time my mother will know me. Why not? Just pay a call, and she should come and live with us. Then I shall have it all. But crossing the frontier of the kingdom, ahead of the princess, Joseph finds the devil waiting for him, playing the violin. And our Joseph is lost forever.
Spectacular, a teenage ensemble from the Merritt School of Music here in Chicago, with Blair Teague, a gifted teacher and member of the National Education Association, as narrator. performing 3 sections of Stravinsky's Histoire de Soldat, The Soldier's Tale. We have 2 members of this musical ensemble with us at the microphones to talk a little. Trumpet player Joel Cantoran and clarinetist Camila Hines Muhammad. Both are 17 years old. Camila is one of our Jack Kent Cooke young artists. This was just an astonishingly great performance. Camila, you say that you were terrified by this piece at first. How come?
Well, on the first page, there was about 3 measures that looked kind of funny because it was high and there were a whole bunch of 16th notes. And I said, oh my goodness, can I do this? But
are those notes even on your instrument?
Yeah, that was a big factor.
So you told me that your attitude about what is difficult has changed because of this piece. How so?
Well, it's not about what's difficult anymore as long as you slow it down and really understand what you're doing and what the composer wanted you to do. So as long as you internalize things one thing at a time, it all works out.
Joel, how do you feel about that? How do you address a piece of this magnitude and difficulty?
Oh, you have to take it very slow to begin. It's very difficult to learn it, and even more so to put it together with 6 other people. And luckily, we just started very slow, and then gradually started picking up and the tempo, and here we are today.
and I know, Joel, you talk about consistency being a big part about learning this piece and being able to perform it.
Yeah, well, that was one of my biggest problems, because sometimes I would either really nail it and have it very solid and very, very well, and other times I would not sound all that great, and that gap was very big. And I remember that there was one rehearsal where our violinist, Julia, she suggested a way to practice, and what she said was to actually start the metronome on the lowest setting, and then gradually you'd get it perfect, and then go one up, one tempo marking up, and then I did that the day when I got home, and it took me about 2 hours just to get to 56. But the piece is at 112, so. Yeah. It's going to take forever, but
it gives you a good idea of your day-to-day incremental improvement, certainly. I mean, you were probably a little more bored the second time starting at the lower end of the metronome. The Merit School is really a fantastic environment in which to take on a piece like this. Describe just the vibe of the place and how it's affected you.
When you go onto the 2nd floor of the Merit School of Music, there are so many people in practice rooms just practicing. Music is pouring out of every nook and cranny, and it's just a wonderful experience to know there's so many young people out there still playing classical music and enjoying themselves doing it and doing well.
It's a great place to be, a great opportunity to have a center where all of you can come together and inspire each other and my gosh, inspire us. It's been an incredible pleasure and honor hearing you play the Stravinsky, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Camila Hines Muhammad and Joel Cantoran, both 17, members of the Soldier's Tale Septet and students at the Merit School of Music.
By the way, this week our online map of America features the Merit School of Music. Are you changing the world through music? Then go to fromthetop.org and get on the map. Over the last 5 years, From the Top and the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation have awarded well over $1 million in scholarships to talented young musicians who have financial need. We still have more to give. Go to fromthetop.org to learn more. Chris.
Our final performer of the day is an outstanding 17-year-old pianist from just north of Chicago in Winnetka, Kate Liu. Kate, tell us the name of the piece you're going to play.
It's a piano sonata. It's Piano Sonata number 2 by Avner Dorman, and it's the 2nd movement. Its name is Presto. Actually, I came across this piece in a competition that I went to last year, the New York International Competition, and I really started liking it even after I did it only for a competition. So now I'm playing it here.
Well, it's an extraordinary virtuoso work. I mean, we were all just astonished when the first time we heard it, and I can only look forward to hearing it again from you in your masterful interpretation of it. I think we're all in for a big treat, and it's a great, great way to end our show today. I want to thank all of our great young performers, and thank you for listening. This is Christopher O'Reilly. Please join me next week. And now, Kate, please take it from the top.
From the Top is written and produced by Tom Vagley for Tom Vagley Productions, with Tim Banker for From the Top. Musical direction by Tom Vinieri with Caroline Cardias-Menos. Our tour producer is David Balsam. Our production manager is Elizabeth DeVore. Technical direction by Barrett Willett with David Forbes and John Surveys. The executive producers are Gerald Slavitt and Jennifer Hurley-Wales. I'm Joanne Robinson. From the Top is produced in association with WGBH Boston. Our home and educational partner is New England Conservatory in Boston. To download an application to appear in our program, visit fromthetop.org.
Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, dedicated to the idea that all people deserve the chance to live healthy, productive lives, at gatesfoundation.org. From the William T. Grant Foundation, supporting research to improve the lives of young people, online at wtgrantfoundation.org. And from the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, helping NPR advance journalistic excellence in the digital age. This is NPR.
Thanks for downloading this week's From the Top podcast. If you liked what you heard, head over to our website, fromthetop.org, where you can listen to every show in its entirety. I'm Christopher O'Reilly. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you again next week.